The kingdom of Axum was not only powerful politically and economically, but also remarkable for its complex and hierarchical society. At the top of the social pyramid were the kings and their royal families, whose authority was considered both political and divine. These rulers were supported by a class of nobles, priests and administrators who oversaw governance, religious rites and trade networks. Below them, a class of skilled artisans, merchants, and farmers formed the backbone of the economy, producing goods, cultivating crops, and sustaining commerce. Laborers and peasants worked the fields, tended livestock, and contributed to monumental construction projects, ensuring the kingdom's stability and prosperity. Life in Axumite cities and villages reflected the integration of social roles with cultural practices. Houses were typically constructed from stone or mud brick, with thatched roofs in some rural areas. Villages were organized around central spaces for markets, religious activities and community gatherings. Farming was essential, with terraced fields maximizing the fertile highlands. Villagers cultivated grains like barley, wheat and teff, and raised cattle, sheep and goats, which provided food, labor and trade goods. Markets were lively places where merchants exchanged everything from spices and textiles to gold, ivory, and exotic animals brought by caravans from distant lands. These interactions allowed for the spread of ideas and cultural influences from across Africa, Arabia, and beyond. Education and literacy played a significant role in Axumite society, particularly for the elite. The Ge'ez script allowed for the recording of laws, religious texts, and monumental inscriptions. Scribes were highly valued, preserving knowledge and facilitating administration. Religious leaders held influence over both spiritual and political matters, guiding the moral and ethical frameworks that shaped daily life. Family structures were organized around kinship ties, with strong emphasis on lineage and inheritance. Gender roles were defined but flexible in certain contexts, with women participating in domestic management, local trade, and religious ceremonies. This structured yet adaptable social system allowed Axum to maintain order while fostering cultural growth and economic expansion. Axumite culture was expressed vividly through art, architecture, and material production. The kingdom is perhaps most famous for its towering stelae. Enormous stone obelisks, intricately carved to commemorate kings and nobles, mark tombs, and demonstrate engineering skill. Each stela was carefully shaped and decorated with symbolic motifs, representing royal authority and cosmological beliefs. In addition to these monumental works, Axumites created smaller sculptures, carvings, and everyday objects with remarkable craftsmanship. Items such as pottery, jewelry, and religious artifacts reveal a society that valued beauty, functionality, and cultural expression. Buildings reflected both practical needs and symbolic purposes. Palaces, temples, and administrative structures were constructed from stone, featuring courtyards, ceremonial halls, and decorative carvings. Religious sites often combined indigenous beliefs with foreign influences, such as South Arabian motifs, reflecting Axum's connections through trade and migration. Public spaces, including markets and gathering areas, were designed to accommodate commerce, civic events, and communal rituals. The architecture of Axum was not merely aesthetic. It demonstrated social hierarchy, reinforced political authority, and created spaces for cultural continuity. Clothing and personal adornment were also significant markers of status and identity. The elite wore fine linen, decorated with intricate patterns and jewelry made from gold, beads, and precious stones. Commoners' clothing was simpler but functional, suited to the demands of farming, herding, and trade. Hairstyles, tattoos, and scarification were sometimes used to denote age, status, or affiliation within the community. Material culture in Axum was deeply intertwined with social, religious, and economic life, creating a visual and functional narrative of the kingdom's values, achievements, and connections with the wider world. Religion was central to Axumite society, providing moral guidance, legitimizing political authority, and influencing daily life. Before the adoption of Christianity, the kingdom practiced a combination of indigenous beliefs and South Arabian influences, deities associated with fertility, agriculture, and protection were worshipped alongside ancestral spirits. Rituals, offerings, and sacred sites ensured harmony between the human, natural, and divine realms. Religious leaders played a crucial role in maintaining social cohesion, mediating disputes, and performing ceremonies that reinforced both spiritual and political hierarchies. Cultural practices extended beyond religion. Music, dance, storytelling, and oral traditions were vital in preserving history, transmitting knowledge and entertaining communities. Festivals marked the cycles of agriculture, royal ceremonies, and religious observances, providing opportunities for both communal gathering and cultural expression. Education, particularly for elites, included training in reading, writing, administration, and religious knowledge, ensuring continuity of governance and belief systems. Language and literature were key tools for maintaining cultural identity. The Ge'ez script and language allowed for the recording of historical events, legal codes, and religious texts. Inscriptions on stelae, coins, and monuments preserved the deeds of kings and the values of society for generations to come. Through these intertwined systems of governance, religion, and culture, Axumite society developed resilience, cohesion, and a unique identity that would shape the kingdom's golden age and influence neighboring regions. One of the main reasons the kingdom of Axum became so powerful was its control over trade. Located near the Red Sea, Axum sat at the crossroads of some of the most important trade routes in the ancient world. Merchants traveling between Africa, Arabia, India, and the Mediterranean often passed through Axumite territory, making the kingdom a central hub for commerce. This position allowed Axum to accumulate wealth, influence, and political power far beyond what its size might suggest. The most important gateway to these trade networks was the port city of Adulis. Situated along the Red Sea coast, Adulis served as the kingdom's connection to international maritime trade. Ships from distant lands arrived carrying goods such as spices from India, silk from Asia, glassware from the Roman world, and fine textiles from Arabia. These goods were then transported inland to the capital and other cities through caravans that crossed the highlands. In exchange, Axum exported valuable products that were highly sought after across the ancient world. Gold from the interior regions of Africa was one of the kingdom's most prized exports. Ivory from African elephants, rhinoceros horns, exotic animal skins, and incense were also traded in large quantities. Some merchants even transported live animals such as monkeys or exotic birds, which were popular among wealthy elites in foreign lands. Because Axum controlled both inland and coastal trade routes, it was able to tax merchants and regulate commerce. This steady flow of wealth helped fund construction projects, military expansion, and the administrative systems that allowed the kingdom to function effectively. Trade was not simply an economic activity, it was the foundation of Axum's rise to power. One of the clearest signs of Axum's economic sophistication was its use of coinage. Axum became one of the first civilizations in sub-Saharan Africa to mint its own coins. These coins were typically made from gold, silver, or bronze, and often featured images of the ruling king along with inscriptions. Written in the Ge'ez script, the coins served several important purposes. First, they made trade easier by providing a standardized form of payment. Instead of relying entirely on barter, merchants could exchange goods using currency that had recognized value. Second, the coins acted as a political symbol, demonstrating the authority and stability of the Axumite kingdom. When foreign traders encountered Axumite coins, they immediately recognized the kingdom as a legitimate and organized state. Markets were common throughout Axumite cities and villages. Local farmers brought grain, vegetables, and livestock to sell, while artisans offered pottery, tools, and woven goods. Merchants arriving from distant lands displayed foreign items such as glass beads, spices, and fine fabrics. These markets were not only centers of trade, but also important social spaces where news, ideas, and cultural influences spread among the population. The wealth generated through trade allowed Axumite rulers to sponsor large building projects and maintain a strong government. Palaces, temples, roads, and monumental stelae required enormous resources, and trade revenue made these achievements possible. In many ways, Axum's economy was one of the most advanced systems in the ancient African world. As trade networks expanded, Axum began interacting with some of the most powerful civilizations of the ancient world. Roman merchants traveled through the Red Sea, Arabian traders crossed deserts with caravans, and Indian ships sailed across the Indian Ocean. Axum found itself positioned between all of these regions, acting as a bridge connecting continents. Historical records from Greek and Roman writers even describe Axum as one of the great powers of its time. Some accounts listed it alongside major civilizations such as Rome, Persia, and China. This recognition shows how important Axum had become within global trade networks. The kingdom also used its economic power to influence political relationships. By controlling key trade routes, Axum could negotiate favorable alliances and strengthen diplomatic ties with neighboring regions. Wealth allowed the kingdom to maintain armies, build infrastructure, and project influence beyond its borders. However, trade did more than generate wealth. It also brought cultural exchange. Ideas, religions, technologies, and artistic styles traveled alongside merchants. Through these interactions, Axum developed a diverse and dynamic culture shaped by influences from Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean world. By the height of its power, the kingdom of Axum had become one of the most important trading civilizations in the ancient world. Its merchants connected distant lands, its coins circulated across regions, and its wealth fueled a golden age of cultural and political achievement. Trade was not simply part of Axum's economy. It was the engine that powered the empire's rise and influence. During the early centuries of the Axumite kingdom, religion was a mixture of local, African traditions and beliefs, influenced by neighboring regions, especially South Arabia. People worshipped multiple gods connected to nature, fertility, protection, and the power of kings. Temples and sacred sites were built where priests carried out rituals and offerings. These ceremonies were meant to ensure prosperity, good harvests, and protection for the kingdom. However, during the 4th century, Axum experienced one of the most important religious transformations in African history, the adoption of Christianity. This change is closely connected to the story of a man named Frumentius. According to historical accounts, Frumentius was a young traveler from the eastern Mediterranean who ended up in the Axumite court after surviving a shipwreck. Over time, he gained the trust of the royal family and became an advisor to the king. Frumentius played a major role in introducing Christian teachings to the Axumite elite. As he shared these ideas, the royal court began to take interest in the new religion. Eventually, the Axumite king at the time, King Ezana, made the historic decision to convert to Christianity. His conversion marked a turning point for the entire kingdom. King Ezana's adoption of Christianity did not happen instantly across the entire population, but it set the foundation for a new religious identity. As the ruler, his influence was enormous, and his support helped Christianity spread quickly through Axum's cities and villages. Churches began to replace some earlier temples, and Christian symbols started appearing in official inscriptions and monuments. This moment was historically significant because Axum became one of the earliest Christian kingdoms in the world. At a time when Christianity was still spreading across the Roman Empire and nearby regions, Axum embraced the religion and integrated it into its political and cultural life. The decision would shape the kingdom's identity for centuries and influence the religious traditions of Ethiopia that continue even today. After King Ezana's conversion, Christianity began to spread throughout the Axumite kingdom. Missionaries and priests traveled between cities and villages, teaching the new faith and helping establish churches. Over time, Christian beliefs became deeply connected to Axumite society and government. The king was now seen not only as a political ruler, but also as a protector of the Christian faith. One of the clearest signs of this transformation can be seen in Axum's coinage. Before the conversion, Axumite coins often featured symbols connected to traditional religious beliefs. After Izana adopted Christianity, new coins began to display the Christian cross. This change was more than symbolic. It showed the world that Axum had embraced a new religious identity. Christianity also influenced architecture and art. Churches began to appear across the kingdom, often built using the same advanced stone construction techniques used in palaces and monuments. Inside these churches, religious texts and symbols helped spread Christian teachings to the population. Priests and monks became important figures within society, guiding spiritual life and preserving religious traditions. Despite these changes, the transition was gradual. Many local traditions continued alongside Christian practices, creating a unique religious culture that blended older customs with the new faith. This blending helped the religion spread more smoothly among the population, as people adapted their traditions while embracing new beliefs. Axum's adoption of Christianity also strengthened its connections with other Christian communities around the world. Religious ties formed between Axum and Christian regions in the Mediterranean and the Middle East. These connections helped exchange religious knowledge, scriptures, and traditions that influenced the development of the Axumite Church. As Christianity became firmly established in Axum, it began shaping nearly every aspect of life within the kingdom. Religious festivals, church gatherings, and community worship became central parts of daily life. Christian teachings influenced laws, moral values, and the way people understood their place in society. Monasteries and religious schools were also founded, where monks studied scripture and preserved important writings. These institutions played a major role in maintaining literacy and education. Throughout the region, the Ge'ez language continued to be used for religious texts, helping unify spiritual teachings across the kingdom. The Axumite Church eventually developed into one of the oldest Christian traditions in the world. Its practices, traditions, and interpretations of Scripture became unique compared to other Christian communities. Over time, this religious identity would continue evolving and eventually form the foundation of what is known today as the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Christianity also strengthened Axum's political identity. By aligning itself with the growing Christian world, Axum positioned itself as a powerful religious kingdom. This gave its rulers greater legitimacy and influence in diplomatic relationships with neighboring states. The adoption of Christianity marked one of the most defining chapters in Axum's history. What began as the influence of a single traveler eventually transformed an entire civilization. Through royal support, cultural adaptation, and religious devotion, Christianity became deeply woven into the kingdom's identity. Even long after the fall of Axum, the religious traditions established during this period would survive. Today, many of the beliefs, practices, and churches that trace their origins back to the Axumite kingdom continue to shape the cultural and spiritual life of Ethiopia and surrounding regions.